Greetings, beloved Princeton United Methodist Church community. It's Pastor Jenny here with an update for you on this first day of Lent. It is Ash Wednesday, and I am going to read today from Genesis chapter 2, verse 3. So God blessed the seventh day and hallowed it, because on it God rested from all the work that God had done in creation. This is the word of life. Thanks be to God. So friends, this is the beginning of our Lenten journey, and we are inviting our whole beloved Princeton UMC community, along with the Kingston one, to enter into a Sabbath Lenten journey, a journey that is meant for our restoration, for delight, for joy, for peace, for freedom. Now, I know that when you hear the word Sabbath or Lent, those may not be the words that first come to mind. In fact, I know that many of us, if not all of us, struggle enormously with Sabbath and with rest and with restoration. It's not that we don't crave restoration or delight or joy or peace or freedom, but we struggle to make it part of our everyday lives. I am included in this. This is something that is not just about individual people. In fact, it is about a whole culture that we are immersed in. And many of us have multiple cultures that struggle with this, that we exist in, that we identify with. So first, I want to say that Sabbath, that Lent is really about our restoration. It is about delight. It is about joy. It's about peace, and it's about freedom. But we also know that to get to those places, there's some wrestling, there's some struggle, there's some learning, there's some letting go that must happen along the way. And so one thing, though, that I hope that we can let go of really quickly is some of our unhelpful notions about Sabbath. I know that some of us have some memories, some feelings, some images that come with Sabbath that are feelings of restriction or guilt or shame. There may be ways that Sabbath has been but felt like more of something that binds us up rather than sets us free. I know that many of us too struggle enormously with feeling rested and getting rest and finding ways to feel really restored. In fact, even when we are able to kind of carve out time and make sure that we have the sorts of time to rest, we don't always rest well. We don't always know how to calm our bodies and our minds and our whole beings down in such a way that we truly are rested and restored. Again, this is not as much about individual people as it is around our whole culture. There's so much that is at work and at play here. And so I want us to set us free from guilt, from shame, from stricture, from these things that keep Sabbath and rest from feeling as though they are meant for us and for our good. Now, I know that's easier said than done, but that's an invitation to start Lent this season, this year. And I do invite you on a Sabbath journey. There are many things that we are going to be engaging in. We're going to be looking at Sabbath from lots of different angles through our Sunday worship, but also through the daily Lenten practices that you are receiving in your email and your mail. This week, there are daily devotionals or daily practices or daily thought experiences to help you reclaim Sabbath in your life. And trust me too, where I say it is not that we are all seeking and aiming for a whole day of Sabbath. Now, that's not a bad thing, and I encourage you to make it so if that is possible in your life. But for many of us, it is much more realistic to start in smaller ways, in ways that help us find and foster rest, find and foster restoration and delight and joy and peace and freedom along this journey. So I hope that we can go on this journey together and help each other, support one another, encourage one another, and learn from one another as we go about this time. This is not easy, and Lent rarely is, truly. as we enter into the passion of Jesus, as we enter into the death of Jesus, part of us is invited to die. We are invited to die to those things that are not of God, that are not for our joy and for God's joy, for our delight and peace and freedom. We are invited to die to all of that so that we can be raised again with Jesus come Easter, and so that we can be raised again to the fullness of life, the abundance of all that God invites us into God's kingdom, into God's heart, into God's very presence. So I know that can feel very lofty, and so we just start today with looking again at what Sabbath looks like and feels like in this very moment. How is it for you just to say the word or to claim that as part of your Lenten practice this year? Not necessarily jumping all the way to the end or understanding everything that is to come, but just today, what is this like for you? And are you willing? Are you willing to go step by step on a journey this Lent, that we all might be restored, or on the way to it, or have little bits? It's not a one and done thing, but we have these practices that can restore us and to enliven us for our delight, for our joy, for our peace and our freedom. Friends, you should have gotten this in the mail or in the bulletin on Sunday. This is our Lenten postcard, reminders of some of the different things that are available to us. Again, this is Ash Wednesday. This evening, our service is at Kingston UMC. We're doing a joint service with both congregations. We will not be at Princeton UMC tonight, but at Kingston UMC or via Zoom. You are invited to the Princeton campus, though, for our to walk the prayer labyrinth, to have some self-imposed ashes, to just be in prayer for a little bit during the day. On Sunday, we will be having after church a prayer blanket workshop, a way to start our Lenten practices together and to find an object, a thing that helps us to find that rest and restoration through this season of Lent. Our Tuesday Lenten services start up again. We have small groups that will be meeting throughout the season as well. Many ways for you to engage in this Lenten journey, this Lenten Sabbath journey together. So friends, I encourage you to invite a friend, to invite yourself to come and be part of one or more of these opportunities that are before us. Friends, it is hard to rest. It is hard for us to delight in God and all God has given to us. It is hard for us to let God delight in us, but that is the part of the invitation. So may you remember that God does delight in you, that we were created for joy, that you are enough, we are enough because God is enough. We are God's beloved, and with us, God is well pleased. God created us and said, oh, this is very good. And so may we relish in that today and every day. We'll see you very soon. Peace and blessings.